Meet the most capable CR-V Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel? Ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CRV.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Buying a car shouldn't eat up your week. That's why Carvana made it convenient. Car buying that fits around your life, not the other way around. You can get pre-qualified for an auto loan in just a couple of minutes and browse thousands of quality car options, all within your terms, all online, all on your schedule. Turn car buying into a few clicks and not a full week's endeavor. Finance and buy your car at your convenience on Carvana. Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Patrick Mahomes, you could suggest, is unanimously the best quarterback in the NFL. But get this, y'all. The last two MVP awards have gone to different individuals. And if you look at this FoxSports.com ranking of the top 10 quarterbacks heading into next season, Mahomes isn't at the top. It's actually Josh Allen. He won MVP last year, followed by Pat, and then Lamar, and then Joe, and then Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champ, followed by Jared Goff, Baker, Herbert, Jaden Daniels, and Dak Prescott. I will ignore Justin Herbert being ahead of Jaden Daniels for the time being.
What about Baker Mayfield being ahead of Jaden Daniels? Like, what?
Listen, Baker cooked last year now.
I will ignore both of those things. Let's focus, people. Beautiful people, let's focus. Patrick Mahomes, Shady, you won a Super Bowl with him. He won you your first Super Bowl. But people are starting to think he's losing his grip as the best QB in the... Shady, what do you...
No, I'm texting Dave Hellman because I know he it might be Dave Hellman that did this. Talking about Fox. Yeah, all right.
Shady, is Mahomes losing his grip as a top QB?
No, man. Like, no. See, the problem is, right, is we get so caught up in the stats. Stats this, stats that. And that's why we have all these conversations about, like, the Aaron Rodgers, you know, and it's not a block for him, but this in general. When we speak...
That's because Shady and I talked for about 30 minutes after the show.
No, but it's like, why do we play this game? I always tell people when you're dealing with athletes, especially professional athletes, we compete, right? It's hard to win in this league. And I always want to be better than you. That's how we was raised, right? Everybody's trying to get better than the next person. And there might be players that might have better stats than Patrick Mahomes this year. Okay, might be another quarterback have better stats than Patrick Mahomes this year. But at Patrick Mahomes' worst, and this is probably one of his worst years, right? And maybe because of him playing with the reserves wide receivers, his number one receiver got hurt. His number two receiver got hurt, and he didn't make no excuses about it. So you didn't even hear anything about it. But at his worst year, I'm playing in the Super Bowl. At my worst of my worst years, I'm in the AFC Championship game. And I'm thinking, now how in the world can somebody surpass Pat when the people that you have in front of him don't never beat him in the meaningful games? AFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, Super Bowl. I'm winning. So as much as I love Josh Allen because that's my youngin'. It's my brother, right? We played together. I see him as a rookie. I was the first one to say how good he was going to be. I can't sit up here on TV and lie to the people. Lamar Jackson, I think he's probably, him and Josh Allen to me is probably the most this straight God-gifted talent. And to be honest, when I look at Josh Allen, I don't see another quarterback that ever played this football game that's more talented than him. Running, size, speed, arm strength, accuracy, all them things. But when you talk about who's the best quarterback in the game, it's Patrick Mahomes, bro. It ain't even close.
Let's have some fun with this one.
I don't want to have fun.
Have fun, Jay.
I want to be serious.
Let's have some fun with this one. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL over the last 25 years or in history?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, objectively.
Yeah.
It is Tom Brady.
No question.
Now, I got to ignore Shady for a moment and talk to this 10-year NFL defender for a hot second. 12-year NFL defender for a hot second. Who was the best quarterback, Will Blackman, from maybe 2006 to 2010?
4 years.
11, 12.
I mean, you could say Drew Brees, Peyton.
Who else? Peyton Manning. Now, who's the best quarterback, though, from like 2012 to 2011 to 2016?
I mean, let's go 10 and on. It was probably Aaron.
Aaron Rodgers, I would suggest, and statistically, and the world would suggest, based upon all pros and MVPs. Aaron Rodgers.
Stats.
Yes.
Okay.
And one Super Bowl, but just stats and one Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback in the NFL from 2011. You could say all the way to 2020, but you could really go from 2011 to 2016. Peyton Manning was the best quarterback in the NFL from 2007 to about 2012, 2013 when he was with the Denver Broncos and when he took off with the Colts. But Tom Brady's the best quarterback ever. You could suggest Mahomes is losing his grip. Is he still better than Lamar Jackson? In my opinion, yes. He's still better than Josh Allen? In my opinion, yes. But you could suggest he's losing his grip, just like Tom Brady lost his grip to Peyton Manning from 07 to 11 and 12 and lost it to Aaron Rodgers from 2011 to 2016 or all the way to 2020 when Aaron Rodgers snuck 4 MVPs in there in a 9-year window. So is Patrick still the best? Yes. But you have to suggest that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are both clawing at Patrick Mahomes and saying, wait, I want some of that shine too. And they're taking some of it, not all of it, but they're definitely taking some of it.
Losing his grip. Okay. Right now, Mahomes he's at the top of the mountain. Right, Shady? You know, and he probably went like this. He probably slipped real quick. He's still on the mountain. He probably slipped on accident. He's still on the mountain. That's the only grip he lost. Mahomes, it's not even. I get going into the season, yes, what Josh Allen did, reigning MVP, you know, I think he was about 80% of the total offense production. Like, yes, he was pretty much the entire team. But when you really look at it, man, it's not even close in terms of, like, who's the best quarterback. And it's Patrick Mahomes by far and none. And I always go back to...
It's not even close?
No, it's not.
Who's the best quarterback? It's not close. Who's the best quarterback? Josh Allen, yes, coming into the season, and I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I was with him when he trained here as a rookie in California, and he and I are good friends. I'm going to send you some wine again, Josh. But overall... It's not close. And I go back to watching that documentary Quarterback, you know, and if you really watch it, and that made me sit back and I was like, damn, bro, like it really is Patrick and everybody else. And also it's like I look at this like when Mahomes goes against these quarterbacks, let's say Lamar and Josh Allen, I look at it's like a sparring match, right? Like they spar. Like Josh might win some spar matches, Lamar might win some. But when you get into the title fight, like when it really, really matters, Mahomes wins. Like I know a ton of guys who box, who are champions, maybe never lost in the lights, but they've been knocked out or dropped in sparring. And right now with Mahomes, like when it matters, that's what he's measuring right now.
What irks me though is like, how do y'all? It irks me only because how can y'all say it's not close? Like Mahomes doesn't beat Josh or Lamar 40-7. In these games when he beats them in the playoffs. Obviously, Mahomes never loses to those individuals. He is better, objectively better. I don't know how you rank him second. But to suggest it's not close, like, yes, Shady, Marshawn might have you in some areas. You might have him in some areas. Adrian Peterson might have y'all both in some areas. But I would never just sit here and say it's not close. Well, they have MVPs.
Yeah, the thing is,
it's not close.
The thing is, right, and AP is phenomenal. But
phenomenal.
And Marshawn's phenomenal, right? We're all a phenomenal group.
Correct.
I'm going to take the running backs out of it, right? This is my guys. Let's talk the straight quarterbacks. Why it's not close because he's 5-0 against Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. You talking about some regular season games, I'm okay with that. I've watched Tom Brady lose to some scrub quarterbacks, right? We all seen it. Right. I've lost to bad defense. We did that before. Mm-hmm. When the stakes are high and everything's counting on the game, we know who's going to win.
That's what we're measuring that
Josh Allen, I always tell you this, Josh Allen's probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen, right? That's my opinion.
And that's fair, yeah.
But when it comes to being the best quarterback, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's 4-0 against Pat. I mean, he's 4-0 against Josh. If we're all hanging out, see, the one thing I love about being a professional athlete, we all are competitive, right? It's sometimes when I'm in the room with certain running backs, I'm looking at him like, man, he knows what's going on. He knows my numbers. Or, his numbers. We do that. Yeah. If Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh are all in the same room, you already know how it's going to go. You know who the big dog is. You know who it is. Every time, we always talk about the championships. We always talk about the stats and the teams. Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback that don't make no excuses. We don't ever sit up here and ask these questions. Does he need more? Does he need one more piece? We don't do that. We don't never do that. You know why? Because we know how it's going to end. It's either going to end with him getting red confetti as a champion or he's going to lose. But every time you see him, he's going to be in a Super Bowl. And these other quarterbacks, before you go, I can't put you in front of Pat when the biggest stage, you never beat me.
Agreed. I'm not putting anybody in front of Pat. What I'm suggesting to you, and really you, is also this. It's like, if Josh has another season this year, cool, like he had like last year, Say he has another MVP, and say this time, Shady, he beats Pat.
See, hold on, stop. You see how that works?
Talk to me. What I do? What happened? What happened?
He said, let's say, Josh has another season MVP. And then he says, because that's probably possible.
Yeah.
Josh probably going to another MVP, right? Mm-hmm. He says, but let's just say, right, that he just can find a way to beat Pat. Huh? We don't ever see that.
Here's the thing. Who's going
to championship this year on the AFC?
Chiefs.
What are we talking about? And another thing is, and I'm done with the conversation because it's getting real. I'm getting upset hearing this because Josh is that's my man for real. But I got to be honest. Like, okay, so we had a big issue with the Bills going that far last year because he lost his number one weapon in Stephon Diggs, and he surpassed that. He went to the AFC Championship game. Cool. But when we look at Pat, nobody sits on TV and talks about, well, he didn't have a great season stats-wise, but he did have a backup wide receiver, starter, backup number 2 wide receiver, starter, hurt. My starting running back, hurt. So now...
He lost Tyreek and still balled out.
No. But I'm talking about this last year. So I'm playing with all reserves, and you know what happened? I'm in the same championship game I was when I had a healthy young Tyreek Hill. Yep. And I had Travis Kelce. The same thing happens.
Let's do this, though, for a moment, because I love Shady's
conversation. Let's play this game.
I love Shady's conversation of elite athletes, elite anything. I've been in rooms with elite businessmen, as Shady has as well. When you walk into a room with elites of elites, everybody is comparing. Like, hey, what you done? What I done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who the big dog?
Yeah, okay.
But sometimes there's more than meets the eye. What I mean by that is Josh Shady is looking at Pat. Pat got chips. All the chips. He got MVP.
Pat got everything.
He got everything.
But Josh is also looking like, wait a second. And you got Andy, bro, and you got Spags. Like, if I had what you had, if I had what you had, I would have what you had. Here's why I suggest that. We just saw Tracy McGrady 2 weeks ago say that, man, but Kobe had Shaq, but Kobe had Phil. So I can't say they're not thinking. That's just what athletes do.
Was laughable,
he's saying, look, I was a great 2. I was a top 5 MVP vote finalist, too, several years. So we've seen elite athletes say, and mind you, T-Mac never got past the first round. But T-Mac is saying to himself, if I had what you had, I would have done what you've done. That's what elites do.
But you see how laughable that is?
Yeah,
I never got past the first round, but I'm about to compare you to Kobe.
If he got to the Western Conference Finals, that's different.
Please don't bring that up. Brother never even got past the first round, and we talking about Kobe.
So is it not fair, though, because you and I have had these conversations off camera, and Will, we've never had them. Is it not fair to suggest if Josh Allen had more, if he had more resources? Because don't forget, Patrick Mahomes walked into a first-ballot Hall of Famer in Tyreek Hill, a first-ballot Hall of Famer in Travis Kelce, and the best coach in the history of the NFL.
But they didn't.
Is it not fair to suggest if Josh had, for Josh at least to think, if I had more?
But they didn't get worse. They got, like, exponentially better with him there. So, no, it's not fair to say that. And, again, the reason why I say it's not close is because just, again, everything he has done. And I go back to that document. Please watch it again. Like, you just sit there and really watch this, how he operates, everything he does, everything he matters to his team. Like, it's not. And right now, we're not, like you said, we're not talking regular season. We're talking right now, based on all their accolades, where they are as quarterbacks. You can put them 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, where they are. Like, it is Josh. The only person that can even say anything is maybe Burrow. Because Burrow got there. He beat Mahomes to get the Super Bowl.
Burrow saying something to who?
I'm saying, like, if they're all at the table, Joe Burrow got one because he actually went to the Super Bowl.
But let me ask you this, Defender. Let me ask you this.
This is wild, yo.
Let me ask you this, Defender.
No, say anything.
If you switch, and it's hard to do, we're hypothesizing.
Here we go. Let's play this game.
We do this. We're playing this game. It's a facility, y'all.
Games.
If you put Josh Allen on the Chiefs during his tenure, and you put Mahomes on the Bills in the same tenure, I believe Josh Allen would have 2 Super Bowls. He might not have 3. I believe he'd have 2.
You put any one of those 4 quarterbacks with Andy Reid, they're going to do extremely well.
So then how can you not, in all your years of NFL, how can you not suggest, you know what? Situation, scheme, team plays a factor. I'm going to just look at the quarterback exclusively. We do that all the time. I say, man, if Barry Sanders was behind Emmitt Smith's offensive line, he might have rushed for 22,000 yards.
If the Bills' defense can get a stop, that would help.
So, like,
Josh Allen did his thing.
Last thought, Shady
in the championship game. He did his thing.
We always do this.
Yeah, but that's not real football. We try to make excuses for it. No, the greats don't do the ifs. They don't do the ifs. We just get it done. Pat gets it done. He could have sat up and complained that his freaking offense wasn't that good,
but
right?
He has Andy. It's easier to get it done.
Here's the thing.
Listen, man, you got to go out there and play the game, right? I hate when we play this game like, if. We don't do no ifs. That's why we are elite athletes. We go out there and get it done. Well, they know that's why I love Pat. We don't do this if game.
That's why
if I had I don't want the ifs.
That's why
I go there and I get it done. Will.
That's why when the Chiefs won, what did Josh Allen say to Mahomes?
If this.
He said, go get another one.
Not even that. Yo, and I told y'all this. The Bills beat the Chiefs at home in the regular season game, right?
Yeah.
They lost. Give the quarterbacks some respect. Pat say, hey, good game. I'm going to see you later. And he seen him later. You know what happened later? He beat him.
Yeah, Kelsey did similar.
Hey, good luck next year. That's all Pat does. Every time Pat sees Lamar, hey, great game. Hey, good luck next year. Hey, Josh, hell of a game. Hey, good luck next year.
His Airbnb is booked already.
You know what I'm saying? So it should be Pat, a.k.a. good luck next year.
Hey, when we return, it's time to bring out the pressure cookers and have a little fun. How much pressure's on the Eagles this season? How about the Cowboys, Commanders, Rams? So many teams, so much to get to. I got to talk more about this during commercial break.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Oh, beautiful people. Some call me Chef Boy R.E., and I'm here with my pressure cooker. I'm on a diet, and so I'm always thinking about cookies.
You can tell him cooking.
Okay, we got NFC teams in here. I'm going to reach in. I'm going to grab an NFC team, and Shady and Will are going to tell me how much pressure each NFC team is under. Will, why are you laughing?
Because last time I seen this, I was at your house when you had a birthday party, and you had your African cook there. You was making some beef stew.
Let's get it started, people, please. The first team, the San Francisco 49ers, LaShawn McCoy. How much pressure are the 49ers under?
I'm going to go like 6, right? 1 to 10. I'm going to go 6. Yeah, well, you just paid a quarterback that we all thought was a really great game manager, right? And you pay him a lot of money. So, yeah, if it don't work out, I'm blaming you.
Just a 6. Will, you agree, 6?
I'm gonna say it's a 7. 6 and 11. You're not rebuilding. You're retooling right now. So not too much pressure on them right now. But 7.
The Los Angeles Rams. Will Blackman, how much pressure?
Oh man, I'm gonna say 6.5. 6.5. Just because I just don't feel like there's so much pressure on them. But you still have McVay. You still got Stafford. And, the rookie's got to step the game up.
Shady?
Yeah, well, your quarterback ain't getting no younger.
He's not at all.
And he's still good. I'm going with 5. Not too crazy in the middle. I think good defense last year, right? Young, don't get better. Then you got Devontae Adams. Yeah. Come on now. I need to see something.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. LaShawn McCoy, how much pressure?
Listen, where I got that. Get up in there. It gotta be 10. I mean, you bring in George Pickens, right? Another year, Dak Prescott. Right? Eventually, somebody got to take some blame.
That's fair. Will.
Now.
I'm going to go 8.5 here. 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. Because you're right, the expectations aren't as high in terms of you got a new coach, you got everything that's new coordinator, but it's still the Dallas Cowboys.
The Washington Commanders, Shady McCoy.
5, right? I'm not going too crazy on them just because they did play well. That rookie quarterback that played great, and you did get to the conference game. So I'm not tripping too much on them.
Will?
Yeah, the Commanders, I'm going to do the same thing, man. I just feel like you're going into year 2.
Excuse me, sorry about
pretty
that.
much
the spice is
still
hot,
young,
man.
and still young. You got new guys there, but yeah, not too much pressure.
How about the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, you can tell the steam is calming down now.
I'll tell you right? You turn to pop down.
You know what I'm saying? The Bears, I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, this is like a new rookie deal. A new rookie year for Caleb. I know he was trying to get the steam.
Yeah, the steam
it's a 5 for me. It's like a new rookie deal, new rookie year.
It's almost done,
Caleb,
though.
man.
Okay, with the steam calming, how about...
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, the boys, look. 3, ain't no pressure. We nice, we the best. You know what it is.
Will,
don't overthink this. Don't overthink this.
Yeah, you're right. 5. I'm gonna say that. 5. Let's not overthink it.
Lastly, as we are nearly seamless. How about the Green Bay?
They gotta get it together.
Yo, listen, don't get mad, Will. I'm going like 9.5. Yeah. All I keep hearing about how talented you guys was for the last couple of years. All they do is lose to good teams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7, man. And,
7?
I'm gonna go. Listen, why can't I say 7? Let me be
7? They lose every team that played last year.
Maybe a 10 for Jordan Love, but a 7 for the team. Jordan got to get it together. We see the potential. We see all the things he can do, but this got to be the year. Stay healthy, make plays.
That's how it is.
Yeah, you know that's right. Yeah.
Listen. Dan Campbell, we riding with you, dog. The good and the bad. You was bad, then you got good.
Don't be ugly.
Don't go back to bad. Listen, we gotta see it. Y'all got smoked by the Commanders. A rookie quarterback on the road. Oh no, you was at home. They were at home and got smoked. Yeah, it's about a 9.5, dog. 9.5. Where you at, Will?
Yeah, you. But mine, I think I'm gonna say 9.5, something like that.
Like 11? We say 11.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know what? I'm jumping down. I'm gonna go 8.5 here. Mainly because you lose your coordinators, but you still got your nucleus in terms of talent. And the one thing Dan Campbell did say when they lost to the Niners in that one game in the playoffs, he said, "We may not ever get back."
I ain't like that.
You gotta get.
Not necessarily lying.
Hey, wait, listen, real quick. I know you knew at this cooking chef thing. I gotta use some better gloves. It don't go.
Usually I don't make my own meals. You know what I'm saying?
Today you did, so I gotta use some better gloves.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm a good friend.
He's not really getting the job done.
Chef Asha, that is so funny. I'm over here trying to hold it together.
When we return,
It's crazy.
when we return, the Knicks, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but they fired their head coach, Mike Brown, replacing Tom Thibodeau. What does success look like? That's next in the facility.
That was a nice little cooking session, man.
Tom Thibodeau fired after leading the Knicks to an Eastern Conference Finals game for the first time in 2 decades, if I'm not mistaken. Enter in Mike Brown. Mike Brown, former head coach of the Cleveland Cavs, led them to the finals, not to be confused with the championship, back in 2007. So Mike Brown, now the new head coach, one of the most polarizing franchises, Shady, not just in the NBA, one of the most polarizing franchises in all of the sport. Success. You would have thought going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since maybe 96, 97, something along those lines, you would have thought that was success. But the Knicks said, hey, Tom Thibodeau, that's not good enough. You're fired. Enter Mike Brown. What's success going to look like for the Knicks?
Well, you got to get there. You got to get back there. I think success for sure is getting back to the Eastern Conference, Finals. I think with the team they have and adding a new addition with some more offense for Jalen Brunson, Jordan Clarkson, they got to get there. Because if not, you fired a coach for getting there. Mm-hmm. And I think in your first year, you got to get back to it. And I think when they did a search of hiring a head coach for the Knicks, who has been there before? Who can relate to these players? Who can relate to having this type of pressure? And I think Mike Brown, that's why they hired him, because he can do that. So to be successful for the Knicks, it ain't just a good playoff run. We see how that worked. You got to actually go there and win and get to a finals. I think if he don't get to the finals in his first 2-3 years, he might be going too.
I was about to say, Shady.
That's what they're doing over in New York.
I agree with the end of the tape. Shady, if you break up with your girl, it's not enough to just find someone that's the same.
Well, sometimes when you break with your girl, and you might get the same, you're like, man, I should have stayed with the old one. Mm-hmm.
But that's not an option.
But what I'm saying is, the Knicks, nobody liked the firing. I didn't like the firing.
Yeah,
so now,
broke up with him.
Yeah, so now you probably shouldn't even broke up with the last person.
Got you. That's some good Shady.
And then you know what might happen also when you do that?
Please.
This is just some, I'm good at relationships. Football relationships I'm good at.
Forget the sports.
So this is the big problem here.
Yeah.
If you get to the same issue with Mike Brown, he goes to the Eastern Conference Finals and doesn't win, right? You're like, dang, I should stay with the last one. But now you feel bad, so you keep this one a little longer. So Mike's gonna have a longer tenure to get that thing done. Yeah. Because the old one, you learn from your past to do better for your future.
Yeah.
Ooh, write that down.
Unless there's someone better.
Well, you got to write that down real quick.
Look,
learn from your past so you can be better for your future.
Yeah, write that down. That's going to be an Instagram video for me later today. Success for Mike Brown, it has to be getting to the NBA Finals. What is so funny, William?
Because I see your reels and sometimes I just go right by it. I'm like, I don't want to hear my dad. I don't want to hear much of the
Hopefully you want to hear this take. Success for Mike Brown is getting to the finals. Like, if they fired Tom Thibodeau for getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, you got to take me further than where Tom Thibodeau took me. Success isn't just getting back. At first, I thought it was just getting back, and I thought about it longer. And I said, wait a second. 2 top 10 players in the East are out. Well, 3 top 10 players in the East are out this year. Dame Lillard, hurt. Tyrese Halliburton, hurt. Jason Tatum, hurt. So 3 top 10 players in the Eastern Conference of what the New York Knicks are in are hurt. And the Knicks have 2 top 10 players in that conference, in Jalen Brunson and Cat. So you're going into an Eastern Conference that's completely depleted. You lost 2 Olympians in Halliburton and Tatum. You lost 2 top 10 players or 3 top 10 players in Halliburton, Tatum, and Lillard. And you got Cat and you got Brunson. To me, you got to get back. You got to get to the finals. That's success.
Yeah, I mean, I won't necessarily say, like, missing the finals would be a huge failure. And I say this because he hasn't gone to war with these guys in the postseason. So you don't know, like, how they're going to react, how they're going to behave when it comes down to it. Yeah, he's going to have time in the regular season to find that nucleus and to find out their identity, but he has not gone to battle with them in the playoffs where he knows what's going to be like. Now, I will say, I'm kind of like being backhand here, but I do agree, like, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, like, you have to get back when you make a move like this. Out of all the candidates, I'm sure, some of them, were denied, but I think at the end of the day, it was going to be Mike Brown all along. They just wanted to do their due diligence finding everybody else. And I just think that that's what it's going to have to be. Like, they have to get back to this here, the Eastern Conference Finals. And, man, if they do get to the finals, then great. But I think success is just that right there.
Just getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Just getting back is success because at least you have a guy that's not messing it up. I think
that's not good enough, though. When you have an ascending Jalen Brunson, a top
But you don't want to. My thing is, you don't. When you get into a situation, you don't want to mess it up. If you get back to where you were, and then maybe there's other things you can do for the next season, like that's still success.
So you're saying year one, just don't mess it up. But okay, let me ask you this: what success look like in the Mike Brown tenure with the New York Knicks? Now I need y'all to answer that question.
Yeah, you got to win one. You got to win one. Yeah, you got to get there and you got to win one.
Success look like during the tenure. Parents, Knicks fans, if I'm not mistaken, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. I don't really joke around with the championships like that. It's hard to get to.
No question.
Right? And if you can get back to an Eastern Conference Finals, right, and give yourself a chance, because you're talking about all these other players that's not there. Mm-hmm. Injuries happen in sports. It happens. There's bad waves in sports, and there's good waves. It's like, that's why you can't get too high, can't get too low. So if he gets to an Eastern Conference Finals, anything is possible. And I'm okay with that.
Let me I'll ask y'all this, right? When I think about the East, Celtics are kind of cashing out this year. They got rid of Porzingis, got rid of Jrue Holiday. They're saying to themselves, this year's a wash. The Pacers don't have Tyrese Halliburton, so this year's a wash. And Miles Turner's gone. But at minimum, Tyrese Halliburton, he's hurt. This year's a wash. So long as Doc Rivers is a head coach for the Bucks, and with Dame Lillard out, I think for the Bucks, they're not actually winning a championship. This year's a wash. So either the Cleveland Cavaliers can do it, the Detroit Pistons, they can ascend to become one of the best teams out of nowhere. The Orlando Magic, they got to ascend from an 8 seed. The Atlanta Hawks, they're going to fix their defensive woes and their structural issues. When I think about the teams in the East, unless the 76ers and Joel Embiid are that guy, who should be better than the Knicks?
But that's the issue even with that. Because the finals this year was the Pacers and OKC, right?
Yep.
And then last year, it was also the Pacers.
Conference finals.
Conference finals, the Pacers. No, nobody in these last 2 years, nobody had them guys going to the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years, right? But then they wind up going. So my thing is, nothing's predictable. Anything can happen. So as we can sit here and say, oh, well, this team because they don't have this player and that player, so what? Because the last 2 years, the Pacers, who nobody expected to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the finals, they did it. That's why I can't play that game.
I think that's to Acho's point. Like, it's wide open. Mm-hmm. Like, anyone can get there. And so the fact that here's the thing, too. You look at the Pacers, like, who's their coach? Right? Unbelievable coach, right? And then you go to other teams, too. So I look at you're getting a coach. Obviously, Mike Brown wasn't the head coach of a championship team. He was on the staff, so that's different when comparing coaches. But you're getting a high-caliber coach to that regard that's going to a team where apparently there was disconnect with the coach. There was disconnect there overall from the coaches, from the management. So you have a guy who was able to put those two things together and, as you mentioned, be relatable, have respect.
And don't you also have, though, an elite roster, though, 2-5? Like, with Tatum out, Halliburton out, say what you will, Jalen Brunson, top 5, top 7 player in the East.
And be real, Knicks should have not won any of those games.
With Cat out there as the top 10 player in the East.
Against Boston?
So you're sitting there with the top 5 player in the East. You're sitting there with the top 10 player in the East. You look at their starting lineup. The starting lineup's legit. Starting lineup legit with OG, with Bridges, with Cat. It's just hard for me to see, like, who should be better than the Knicks going into this thing. Shady's right. Anything can happen. We can't sit here and that's not a good enough answer to give y'all on TV. Anything can happen. But Shady is right. Anything can happen. But at least on paper, the Knicks.
I mean, I would say they're favorite, right? Well, I would say favorite. The Cavs should be favorite. My Sixers, I don't know what they got going on.
Yeah,
We'll see, though. I just think that if you're saying, hey, they don't get to the finals, like it was a failure. I can't say that.
That's tough. That's tough. That's very tough.